What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece reaction. And today, BDA Law will be telling us some upgrades that Vegapunk will be giving the Straw Hats by the end of this arc. And the title of this video is Every Major Upgrade Vegapunk Will Give the Straw Hats. Now, before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on my reaction, and my thoughts. Make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and make sure you become a part of the community and join the Discord. That is going to be the best place to send me One Piece content to react to. So make sure you join the Discord. You can also send me other stuff to react to. I might react to that in like a chill stream one day or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into the video. So we know we're currently in the Egghead Island arc. I'm assuming that's what the arc is going to be called, the Egghead Island arc. And this arc so far seems like it's going to be centered around Vegapunk, right? The Straw Hats met Vegapunk, or they met satellites of Vegapunk. We haven't met the real Vegapunk just yet. But we are currently meeting Vegapunk, right? That's what we're in the process of doing. And we know that Vegapunk also took a keen interest in the Straw Hats. So he wants to meet the Straw Hats, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a antagonistic meeting, right? So this seems like, I think what most people are already speculated, this is going to be Vegapunk, or the story's way of using Vegapunk to give us a lot of information about the world in general. We might learn about devil fruits. We might learn some Void Century stuff. You know, there's all types of stuff that we could potentially learn about the One Piece world that we know of, right? A lot of secrets that we've been waiting on. But there's also the possibility that we could also see the Straw Hats get some upgrades, right? They can maybe not necessarily upgrades, but they can get some useful things from this arc. You know, as a matter of fact, I think we talked about it in an earlier discussion about how each Straw Hat could benefit, right? Now, when you look at Straw Hats that could benefit the most, I would probably say Frankie, right? Because Frankie being a engineer, being someone who builds, being a creator, similar to Vegapunk, like they have a lot of similarities. Matter of fact, Frankie was sent to Vegapunk's home island during the whole Straw Hat split from Kuma, right? So I think Frankie could probably benefit the most as far as learning some new things that will make him a better creator, a better inventor. You know, he could potentially learn how to make a big mech suit like Vegapunk, or at least have the tools to allow him to do so. Who else could benefit? I would say, and I'm talking about the Straw Hats that could benefit the most, you know, because I think maybe every Straw Hat could benefit to some degree, possibly. But I would say Frankie. I would say Nami, potentially. You know, maybe her climb attack could get improved by Vegapunk. You know, or maybe maybe Vegapunk could give Nami some sort of device to help her better at navigating and or controlling weather, right? Or at least being able to read the weather. You know what I'm saying? So Nami, I would say Chopper, you know, because medicine and science are very closely related. So Chopper could learn some stuff to improve his ability to create medicines, right? You know, so Chopper, I would say, Usopp's a bit of a tankerer, right? Like we know before Frankie joined the crew, Usopp was kind of played that role that Frankie plays as far as the shipwright role, and also like he created the Climatech, like the original Climatech for Nami. So he's a bit, you could say, he knows his way around creating things. So he could benefit as well. Robin, Robin could definitely benefit in learning some things about the Void Century, about the history of the world. Maybe Vegapunk might know, you know. So and you know, to a lesser degree, you could say Sanji could benefit. You know, him being a child of Vinsmoke, right? And possibly if Vegapunk was able to make him a new raid suit or something, I would say I don't really know many ways that where Luffy and Zoro could benefit, and Brook. I'm pretty sure Luffy could benefit from knowing more about his devil fruit, but going off of Luffy's personality, Luffy doesn't seem too worried about things like that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think Luffy, any way that Vegapunk could benefit Luffy, I feel as though Luffy's the type of character to not really care. He's not really known for caring about specifics and the technicalities of things. So that's why I'm always iffy with Luffy. I know he could benefit from the knowledge, but does he care enough? You know what I mean? Zoro, I mean, some people make the argument that Zoro could learn about black swords and how to make one. He could, I guess. Vegapunk could kind of point him in the right directions. I like the idea of Zoro learning that on his own, or maybe through other swordsmen potentially. But who's to say Vegapunk couldn't be that either? Right? And Brook, I don't really know. I don't really know how Brook would benefit. I don't, like, maybe Vegapunk could create something to give Brook some skin or something. I don't know. Like, maybe Vegapunk could make Brook a little more human, right? Like, have more organic matter to his body, more organic mass to his body. That could be how Vegapunk helps Brook. I kind of like Skeleton Brook, though. I don't know if I want to see him with like an organic body. He's grown on me as a skeleton. So, then you kind of lose all the jokes. The fact him being dead already. So it will kind of make Brook a little less interesting of a character if Vegapunk did something like that. But just had to suggest that, right? Just had to suggest it. Anyway, let's get into the video.
So, now that we're on the Egghead, the island of the future, I was thinking about possible interactions and outcomes between the Straw Hats and the galaxy-brained Egghead himself, herself, I guess, Vegapunk. Anyways, I thought back to Frankie's time on Karakuri Island and how he upgraded himself, and then I started thinking about other upgrades Vegapunk could give the crew. And so now here we are with me presenting them to you. Again, this is just a little bit of predicting, so don't take it as canon. It just came to me in a daydream. Anyway, Luffy, let's start at the top with the captain himself. Now, in terms of upgrades, Luffy just got a massive one in Gear 5, but I think Vegapunk has a strong understanding of devil fruits and anatomy. That being said, Chopper is currently with Luffy, and Chopper is the creator of the Rumble Balls, which are meant to help change his own abilities similar to Luffy's gear. So I started thinking Vegapunk.
Yeah, the Rumble Balls, as far as Chopper, I forgot about though. How to make them more potent and with less drawback. That could definitely help Chopper. Luffy, I mean, again, when it comes to Luffy, maybe Luffy doesn't have a full understanding of Gear 5th, and maybe Vegapunk will help Luffy understand that to where Luffy could use it efficiently, But I don't know.
Punk like Caesar, could not only improve Chopper's rumble balls, but create something for Luffy. Maybe help him change gears easier and cut down significantly on the toll to his body afterwards. I mean, even with his mastery of the gears on Wano, he still needed time to recover in the middle of Roof Piece, and he had to regain control of Gear 5. So I think him being able to fight for longer without much penalty would be the perfect tool or upgrade in his arsenal. Now, the idea of a rumble ball with Luffy sounds a bit weird, but maybe it could be something that he uses at the end of an arc when he needs just one final push, similar to the Senzu Bean, but I guess it's a Senzu ball, all right? Also, if you're here for the first time, it'd be amazing if you'd subscribe.
My question is now, do the drawbacks of his gears still affect him, right? Like when he goes into Gear 2 and Gear 3, or Gear 2, Gear 3, and Gear 4, do they still affect him drastically? You know, now I've been on. I've said plenty of times where I think that Luffy's lifespan has been significantly reduced, and part of that is because of his gears and some of the other stuff he's been through, like being poisoned multiple times and using those hormones that Ivankov injected in him. And Ivankov even said that, if I remember correctly, Ivankov said something about them having like a long lasting effect on his lifespan, if I remember correctly. So I do think Luffy's lifespan has been significantly reduced when it comes to a culmination of all those things, but I don't know how much the continued use of using those gears are affecting his body. Like, at what level are they affecting him? You know, like, does Gear 2 affect his lifespan as much as it did back in Ennis Lobby when we were first introduced to it, and during the pre-time skip? Like, do they still affect them to that degree, or has he been able to use it efficiently where it doesn't do as much damage as it used to be? It used to have done. You know what I mean? So that's my question. You know, because if that's the case, I don't know if he would need rumble balls, because it doesn't seem like the gears have that significant toll that they used to have on his body, right? So if that's the case, I don't know if rumble balls would be useful to Luffy. You know, I don't know if how they would be helpful, you know, since he already kind of got that in check.
For more content like this lets me know that you enjoy the content, and I can get more content like this out to you guys. So hit that sub button if you're enjoying, and drop a like if you already have. Now let's move on to the right hand of the captain, Zoro. This one stumped me for a little bit because I had to really think about something Zoro struggles with. Other than direction, I really couldn't think of anything. So
bro, I was low-key thinking, when he said I had to think of something Zoro struggles with, direction was my first thought. I was like, I mean, I guess you could create some type of guidance system for Zoro. That would be helpful. Help Zoro be able to navigate and not get lost. Just saying. Angel says, I mean, now that he full control of his devil fruit, I would like to believe there are no more drawbacks. And then he said, and yeah, and doesn't Chopper only need the rumble ball for Monster Point? Yeah, I think that's been established that he only need the rumble ball for Monster Point. And I agree with you that I don't think that there are any more drawbacks to his devil fruit, but I think the damage those gears have done to his body overall, from a lasting sense, I think it's already done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he can undo the damage that Gear 2, Gear 3, and Gear 4 has caused his body before. But I think the damage that it does now, I think it's very minimal, if at all. You know what I mean?
What if Vegapunk makes a compass for Zoro. No, seriously, what if Vegapunk knows something about how to make a black blade? There's just some insight, not everything, right? But he's the world's greatest mind. I mean, I highly doubt Vegapunk knows anything about swordsmanship per se, but considering his bank of knowledge, who knows? There's also the possibility of a laser sword for Zoro. We know the pacifista beam is an adaptation of Kizaru's beam, so it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. I know all these sound a little bit off the cuff, but I feel like that's also because the monster trio for me feels incredibly close to their peak. Sanji, one of the wings of the...
You know something, now that I think about it, right? Like, what could Zoro use? And I would probably give this upgrade to both or either Zoro and Sanji. But one thing we learned from the most recent chapter of One Piece, chapter 1062, I don't know when you guys are watching this, but as of now, 1062 is the most recent chapter. Maybe Vegapunk could integrate that light, interactive technology into Zoro's sword, or for Sanji, if Sanji had a raid suit, he could integrate it in Sanji's raid suit, or give him gloves. You know what I'm saying? But we learned in the last chapter that Vegapunk has these gloves that he has technology that allow you to interact with light. So you could physically grab light with these gloves. So if Vegapunk was to integrate that into Zoro's swords, or to Sanji's raid suit, or just give Sanji gloves, or sneakers, because Sanji doesn't really use his hands. So you would probably have to put it in Sanji's shoes, right? So give Sanji and or Zoro some light interactive technology so they could fight people like Kizaru, or Enel potentially. Just saying, I think that would be an upgrade.
The Pirate King, people say. I can't help but think that the raid suit and how Sanji has grown past it, but I feel like the raid suit was the perfect power-up. So I think personally Vegapunk improving it, making it more durable, or adding a way for Sanji to use his Diabo Jembe would be the perfect touch. We can only hope that if these things do come to pass, Oda does not give in to Sanji's gag and give him x-ray glasses or something crazy or down bad like that. I mean, who are we kidding? He probably will get something like that. But either way, this is the perfect time for Vegapunk to upgrade Sanji, but not only his raid suit and his possible body, but also provide more knowledge about who he is. I am 100% convinced that Lunarian DNA was used when Judge was trying to manipulate the lineage factor of the boys in his wife Sora's tummy. And there's a theory of
I like that idea that Lunarian DNA was used for the Vinsmokes, right? I think that's possible, and I again, Vegapunk is Vegapunk worked with Judge. So I think there is something there for Vegapunk and Sanji to have some type of moment. Maybe explain what happened to his body, right? Maybe Sanji tells him about his body and he says, Vegapunk could explain it, say, "Oh, you wore your father's raid suit. Well, your DNA was activated by the raid suit or something." We'll get more explanation of Sanji's bloodline, and I I know a lot of people don't like the idea of Sanji having a raid suit, but I like the raid suit. Come on now. I like raid suit Sanji. To me, Sanji versus Page One in the Flower Capital, that was one of my favorite fights during the Wano arc, especially before Onigashima. I put it up there with the whole Zoro versus Killer, especially when you look at the animation and everything. It was a beautiful fight, and the raid suit, beautiful. So I would love to see Sanji get the raid suit back, potentially. Maybe Vegapunk rebuilds him his own version of a raid suit. Or maybe if Sanji still has the parts to the raid suit and he ain't throw it away after he destroyed it, maybe Vegapunk could recreate it or something. I kind of like the idea of Judge doing that though. I kind of like that idea of Judge building Sanji another raid suit. But you know, that's me. I'll be okay with Vegapunk doing it as long as we get another raid suit.
Vegapunk using Sora as basically the baseline for Vegapunk 02, conversation for another day. However, Sanji has been meeting his dad's co-workers the past couple arcs, right? This is going to be a major one for Sanji, in my opinion. Jinbei, for the helmsman, I had a really wild idea that I feel like...
Bro, I didn't even think of that. Sanji been meeting his dad's co-workers the past few months, or the past few arcs. That's facts. I ain't even think of it. And now when we look at Sanji's dad's co-workers, it looked like they're kind of reforming, right? Like we know right now we're in Egghead Island. Caesar is probably about to meet Judge because he escaped with the Vinsmoke. So eventually the Vinsmokes are going to take him back to their ships, right? So that means Caesar and Judge most likely are going to meet, right? They're most likely going to meet, which can be, it could be a new alliance, right? A reformation of the Mad Science Group. And if somehow Judge and Caesar somehow make their way back to Vegapunk, just saying, we could get a full reunion aside from Queen, because I don't know. Queen's still in Wano. He's a prisoner. So aside from Queen, we could get a full-on reunion of the Mads Science Group. Bars.
Like it's totally within Oda's wheelhouse. I think for Jinbei, aside from upgrading the ship, a really cool thing Vegapunk could give him is like an infinite water jar or something. Maybe pulls water from the air and refills. That way, even on land, he has some water to use in his fishman karate. Doesn't seem like much, but I feel like it would be the perfect power-up for him. It would at least help tone down the argument of Jinbei on land versus Jinbei in the water. I know, Vegapunk teaching a fishman how to create water out of thin air feels a bit weird considering that's the base of fishman karate. Just something cool. Chopper, before I get to Chopper,
Kind of like that idea, like Jinbei having some device where it can extract, like it could turn air into water. Like I guess it would extract the oxygen from the air, and maybe it produces hydrogen molecules, and then you combine that, you get H2O, right? 2 hydrogen molecules, 1 oxygen molecule would be a water molecule, right? So no, it's 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atom, and then they create a molecule, a water molecule, right? So if you could do that at a high level with like some machine or whatever, Jinbei could use that device to create water and manipulate the water, and he out here water bending and I'm just saying. It could be pretty dope. It could be pretty dope for Jinbei.
Chopper, just want to let you guys know. If you have better ideas, list them below. This is an open forum. Whatever you guys think, I'm willing to discuss, and we will do Q&A later in the week, so drop them all below. But Chopper, I think aside from further improving the Rumble Balls, which I mentioned before, which could potentially give him 1 or 2 more points, I think teaching him more advanced medicine techniques and giving him upgraded equipment would significantly help him in his dream as a doctor. Remember guys, not every upgrade needs to be a power-up necessarily. It's just about how they can better help the crew. And seeing him come into clutch in both Punk Hazard and Wano, I think giving him that support boost would really help him out in the story. Something to keep in mind. The person that saved the kids in Punk Hazard was not Chopper, who was aiming to basically figure out every single disease and cure every disease in the world. It was Law. What if Chopper gets some tools in which he can do some microscopic, microbiologic, not a word, but you understand what I'm saying. Vegapunk gives him the tools to be able to do things Law can do, but of course Law has that amazing devil fruit. This is how Chopper can basically become more than a doctor, but also step into surgical territory. Nami. So for Nami, there's a few.
Yeah, I think Chopper, to me, Chopper is one of the people who could benefit, one of the Straw Hats that could benefit the most from this visit with Vegapunk. Like I said, I think the top Straw Hats that could benefit the most from Vegapunk are going to be Frankie, of course, Chopper, maybe Robin. I'll probably say top three. Then so Frankie, Chopper, Robin, and then like to a lesser degree, but still, I would say they could benefit at a high degree. Nami and Usopp, right? So yeah, I think those would be the most beneficial Straw Hats.
Few ways to go about this. Giving her something to add to her Climattack or reinforcing it can make it a lot stronger, especially now that she has Zeus. That being said though, I think another strong upgrade for Nami would be a more advanced log pose. Maybe something that shows the name of the island and grabs the direction easier. Especially in the new world, it would significantly help her navigation skills. The climate and something having to do with the weather seems on brand as well. Vegapunk did come up with the geothermal technology to basically change the weather of an island. Egghead is a tropical island. Every island around there seems to be a winter island. He did something. He mastered that technology. He has some information and skills that Nami could basically learn from. I think this is crazy and exciting as hell. For Usopp,
You know something though? I think one thing that was stated in the last chapter was that the technology wasn't fully perfected, I guess because of lack of resources or something along that line. Like I can't remember what exactly said, but it seemed like maybe Vegapunk didn't fully get the create that, you know, that weather control thing as its full potential. I don't know, right? But what if Nami actually helped Vegapunk in that instance? That'd be pretty dope. Like if Nami and maybe Frankie helped Vegapunk in one way, and then Nami helped Vegapunk in a different way, as far as his weather technology. Just saying.
I think there are a couple things. Advanced goggles, right? An improved slingshot, a new improved Sogeking mask. But I think more than anything, giving him new improved ammo would be perfect. We've already seen him show insane observation haki on Dressrosa, and I don't know how much he can change on a slingshot. I doubt he'd ever take a gun, but it seems like he's always finding new and improved stars, so some futuristic ammo would be on the nose for Usopp, right? Get it? Anyway, Robin. So for Robin, I had to think pretty hard about this one, and given her...
Or, if not futuristic ammo, which I kind of like that, you know, but I think he would have to teach Usopp how to make the ammo, you know, so he doesn't run out of it. But because the thing with Usopp's ammo, it's like plants, right? He's like, there is botany, so he could grow these plants, you know, so he could continue to recreate his ammo through growing it through botany, you know. So he would probably have to either maybe, you know, teach him how to make it, you know, or he'd integrate the technology onto Usopp's slingshot, his Kabuto or whatever. So that could be another option as well. But it'd be dope if, you know, I mean, we're used to seeing Usopp with a slingshot, but if Usopp has some guns or something, Usopp start using guns, bam, 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 bro. I don't know. I don't think we want to see Usopp with guns because we so used to seeing him with a slingshot. So I guess the slingshot is just gonna have to stay. You know what I mean? But if you could integrate some technology that maybe it makes the ammo that he does use more deadly to a degree, right? Like maybe it increases the acceleration of his ammo. So, you know, especially to the more destructive plants that he used, if they move at a quicker rate, they might be more destructive. You know what I'm saying? So just adding that.
In our history, I thought about Ohara, and what better book than an iPad? No joke. I think giving her a way to collect and archive information, some sort of tablet or iPad, would be really useful for her in terms of archaeology and information collection. Think about it, okay? One of the smartest women in the world, with all of the information she has gathered at her fingertips with the press of a button. That and her fight with Black Maria already let us know that she doesn't need any help in a fight, okay? So this would be a major upgrade. We're 500 years into the future, so I don't think it's all that crazy. Brook. Okay, so for Brook, there are a few possibilities. Garage band being one of them. I thought maybe about a multiple instrument device, sticking with the idea of...
Get that man GarageBand or FL Studios or something, man, so he could upload his music to the internet and make the Straw Hats some money, man. Come on now. We making Brook global. He gonna be global.
helping the Straw Hats with their dreams. But I also think for Brook personally, maybe a sword that makes flames could be cool. Maybe I've been watching too much House of the Dragon, but he already has the icy attacks, so giving him ice and fire seems really fitting. It's a song of ice and fire. The only other thing I could think of is maybe portable speakers that would rock out harder, but I feel like the Soul King probably doesn't need speakers to be heard. I can't lie. Brook is a bit of a tough one to nail down.
Maybe give him upgrade his guitar, right? I think that could be a possibility. We see that Brook uses his music to almost hypnotize people, right? Like we seen him do that with enemies before. So if you could upgrade his guitar, maybe his attacks that he do with his guitar by like manipulating people and stuff, maybe he could do it at a much higher level, or like it could be amplified. Like if you could amplify the effects of his guitar or his music through some technology you would integrate with the guitar, I think that could be dope, you know.
Last but not least, Frankie. I mean, after all, I believe it is his arc, and for Frankie, there are a ton of possibilities. From a physical upgrade to a new energy source besides cola, or even a way to maximize the cola and make it last longer or use less. There are also upgrades to the Sunny itself. But the thing I'm hoping for the most is definitely an upgrade to General Frankie. When we saw the giant robot Vegapunk and how it was being piloted, I know I'm not the only person who immediately thought of the General Frankie, right? So I think upgrading it would be satisfying.
Bro, when we seen that robot, I initially thought that was Frankie. Like I didn't see Vega Force or nothing. I thought like maybe when the ship was sinking, Frankie like pulled out a mech that he had this whole time, like an underwater mech, like an underwater version of General Frankie, to save the ship. That's what I initially thought it was. I didn't even know it was like Vegapunk or somebody else.
Satisfying, and not only to Frankie but the rest of the Straw Hats and the fans as well. Listen, this is an opportunity for Frankie not only to level up eons but also gain more information, and if I'm Vegapunk, I'm gonna warn Frankie. It would not be crazy if Vegapunk comes to Frankie and say, hey, join my crew, bastard. I don't think he does it, obviously, but this is a major opportunity for Frankie to get to a level that I foresee, because in my opinion, he's probably the most underrated Straw Hat. People say it's Brook, but I think Brook gets his just due. Frankie, people forget how much of a powerhouse he was in Enies Lobby, and even in his fight against Sasaki, General Frankie did get messed up. Frankie was fine. He could go.
I mean, Frankie got some shine though compared to Brook. Like if we being serious, Frankie got some shine in Dressrosa. Brook didn't get much shine in Wano. Like he kind of took care of the fodder guys while Robin fought Black Maria, like the fodder women, and you know, he had small moments, but he didn't have like a major fight in Wano. Whole Cake Island, I mean, he did stand toe to toe with Big Mom, so I mean, he kind of did get his moment, but he didn't it wasn't like a full on fight, right? We didn't really see him in Dressrosa. Like he was part of the half the crew that left, and then. Yeah, like we didn't really get to see as much from Brook as we did Frankie. Frankie has had some one-on-ones, man. He has some one-on-ones, and you know, he got to show off what he could do in the 1v1.
Go another round against another Sasaki. Probably. Either way, that's it for the video. Leave a like if you liked it, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Did I miss anything? Do you have a better idea for an upgrade? Let me know your thoughts. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that bell. And thank you guys so much for your thoughts. Follow me on Twitter at BrogODAce. Follow me on Instagram at BrogOD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you to my members. I appreciate you guys oh so much. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'm gonna give him a like. You know, BDA always coming with some good stuff, you know. Even though I don't always necessarily agree with him. But, you know. Alright, y'all, so that's the video. So these upgrades about Straw Hats. I mean, yeah, I definitely do see the Straw Hats getting upgrades. I don't know if all of them will, because I don't think all of them necessarily could benefit from the type of upgrades that Vegapunk give. You know, like I'm hesitant with Zoro and Brook and Luffy. Luffy to some degree, right? Because I think Luffy can gain insight on his devil fruit. But just kind of how Luffy's personality is, I don't really think he would care or he would even be paying attention. Like Vegapunk would be telling him all this stuff about his devil fruit, but Luffy will probably be zoning out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I'm hesitant to add Luffy to the equation because it's just his personality. Like I don't know if Luffy would even pay attention to what Vegapunk tells him about the devil fruit. So Luffy, Zoro, Brook, they're the main ones. I don't really see much benefit or benefiting that much from this arc. Sanji, Chopper, or Sanji, Nami, and Usopp, to a lesser degree, I could see them benefit, but to a lesser degree, because Sanji could benefit, like maybe learning more about his father's, like maybe learning more about his lineage, his DNA lineage, right? Which could potentially help him use his abilities to a higher level, right? Maybe a new raid suit as well. Nami could learn something, maybe to help her become a better navigator or help her navigate the new world better. Maybe some weather controlling device that could upgrade her climate attack. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Nami could benefit. And then Usopp, because Usopp is a bit, he tinkers with things, right? So maybe an upgrade to his Kabuto, maybe some new ammunition, kind of like what BDA Law say. Yes. And then I think the ones who would probably benefit the most. Oh, and I forgot Jinbei. Jinbei would probably be in the category with like Luffy and Zoro and Brook. I don't really see him benefiting much from this visit either. And then we got the ones who I think will benefit the most. And that is Frankie, of course. I think he's at the top of the list. And then Chopper, because, he'll be able to make better medicine. Maybe Vegapunk could give him something or teach him something to become a better doctor, right? Or maybe improve upon his rumble balls, possibly. Or, yeah, like those are the main things with Chopper when it comes to Chopper, And then Robin, maybe maybe something along with BDA Law says something where she could collect all her data and put it into some type of database or something, like an iPad or whatever, something like that. Maybe she could learn something from Vegapunk, like Vegapunk knows some secrets of the Void Century that might be useful to Robin. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, those are how I see the Straw Hats benefiting from Vegapunk. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I really got for this topic. Great video from BDA Law. But yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's up? Can maybe add something that you think I might have missed, right? Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch me when I am live and you can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and make sure you join the Discord so you could be a part of my community. And you can also send me stuff to react to through the Discord. I have a channel there meant for people to submit One Piece content for me to react to. But anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.